Ugh, the dust in here. What, are we inside some kind of vacuum cleaner? Is that why you always wear that fish tank on your head? What's got you so quiet? Pulling the strong and silent act now?
Here we are.
Here? As in...
The Laplace launch site in Sydney. We've collaborated with the Foundation and the Space Agency for various projects here.
Thanks for the heads up. I almost thought we just barged into some rock star's house.
It will actually take another 2 years before this place becomes an official launch site.
Oh, yeah, right. We're basically living in the past.
I visited various launch sites to verify the photos. Guiana Space Center, Placid's Cosmodrome. Then, I found this place. Most of its archives were lost in the storm, but a small portion of the early records survived. I left them here with the rest of the files I compiled. Damn it! Where did they go?
Huh. So, does this mean we can all go home now?
Absolutely not. All right, new task. Stay put and don't touch anything. I need to find those files.
Fine. Oh, amazing! An old military base. Mysterious photos. This is going to be juicy. No chance Ulrich is stopping this rockin' pirate from going after treasure. I mean, very, very important files. The hunt is on. Ha ha! Let's start with what's on this table. La 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 da 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 do 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 do. I almost forgot. Can't go treasure hunting without some music to rock out to. Woohoo!
Damn it! I forgot to tell her to keep quiet. What's happening? Is this an earthquake? Ah, crap. This is the note I wrote last time I was here. Regulus, turn off that speaker, now!
da 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 da.
For fuck's sake! I knew I should have upgraded my memo module! Calm down, Ulrich. You're a leader. It's part of your job to clean up after your team.
Our rooms are always open for new guests.
It's in line, up on the wall. 1, 2, 3. Which of these darlings shall we attend to first? Perfectly understood.
Please, don't resist.
Please, mortals! Please, allow me.
Can we do that to a poor this much? No worries. The real troublemaker of a guest, aren't you? This way, my child. At your service.
They are much naughtier than the Foundation's kids.
Flux! Flux! Finally it's over. Relax, don't overheat. You'll have to get used to this if you want to be a good leader.
Ulrich! Look what I found! Where's my round of applause? If you're even half a leader, you'll fight your hardest to get a decent salary for such an outstanding employee as myself.
Sure.
Just one more thing. Scientist to scientist. You made some pretty cool electronic music in that battle. Didn't know you had it in you.
Here are all the files related to the satellite. Look them over, Regulus.
Do we have to go through all this right now? Why? Is there some even more juicy stuff in them?
For you, it might be. The satellite carries a variety of arcane items: space seeds, dragon tree resin compasses, obsidian crystals, WFPCs, astronomical spectrometers. Even its power source is an arcane record player. We've made a list of everything that was on it so we can test them against the artificial storm. The satellite is an archive of the wisdom of the entire human race. It somehow survived multiple storms.
What are you gonna do with it?
Sadly, a lack of maintenance caused it to plummet to the Earth. It crashed in your time, 1966. The telescope project was named after a record that was on the satellite, which also happens to share your name.
Regulus. My little thing. It was the record on the satellite.
Yes, that's the one. Wow, you've kept it in great shape.
So, this is the key to braving the storm?
It might be, among several other options.
I get it. That's why you wanted me on the storm research team.
Not just that. I've read the Aperon Island reports. You demonstrated some serious talent with the Ceres puzzle in that cave. And you've faced more storms than the majority of the Laplace staff. We're not working together for a couple of research papers. This is about the survival of everything on Earth. We need all the help we can get, including yours. In fact, Laplace even held a meeting with the Foundation to discuss borrowing your record. The Foundation suggested we apply for an item transfer order under the Artificial Storm Project and let the Timekeeper take over the matter. Some of my colleagues told me that, according to LSCC regulations, lending assets to the center is mandatory for all staff. But... all right. Let me be honest with you. I'm not comfortable with taking your record by force. It's yours after all. It's your choice what you do with it. So, here I am. Not as your leader, but as myself. Hoping we can find a solution that works for both of us.
Has anyone ever told you that you're terrible at negotiations?
Ah, damn it. I knew it wouldn't be easy.
Go ahead, Mr. Ulrich. Take it. Before I change my mind.
You're willingly giving it over to the Artificial Storm Project?
For a cause even greater than rock music? Absolutely. But just to be clear, I'm only lending it to Laplace. You have to give it back when you're done. It's the only copy in the world and the future centerpiece of the Regulus Museum.
Thank you, Researcher Regulus. Thank you so much. I was gearing up for a much tougher talk. I even applied for additional funding and a month's leave to offer you as leverage. Well, I suppose I won't have to use it after all.
What?
Timekeeper!
Sonetto, what's the rush?
I just wanted to remind you that our vacation in Australia is over. If you need any help packing, please let me know.
don't I have something for you? Huh? Regulus asked me to pass these out. She won them at a sail-away party. She said they're highly valuable, the finest choice for any collection, if I recall correctly.
Looks like an ordinary flyer to me.
I've already inspected them. They're just advertisements with a handwritten signature in the corner, and some completely over-the-top promises. Regulus told me it's a trick that advertisers use. They use fancy words to catch people's eyes and make it seem more grand. Phrases like, an opulent odyssey upon the boundless sea, tour the illustrious Pacific coast, a veritable feast of harmonic reverie, rare and fortuitous seasonal discount, and facilities unimaginable in their splendor. What's this on the back? Nor happiness, nor harmony, nor fame. Nor pride, nor strength, nor skill in arms or arts.
Before a cruel whip. Man who man would be must rule the empire of himself. In it must be supreme, establishing his throne. On vanquished will, quelling the challenges of hopes and fears. Being himself alone.
Is everything alright, Timekeeper?
Sinetto, change of plan. We need to contact the Foundation, now.
Good afternoon, Mr. President. May the peace be with us.
May the peace be with us, my friend.
Xeno has been restored to its usual state. Aside from Igor's ardent supporters, the rest of the Xeno soldiers and officers were unaware of his betrayal. Just as we expected. Admiral Igor's funeral has been held as planned, one that befits his rank and status. All relevant personnel remained in South America for the ceremony, as per Xeno's funeral regulations. We're in the process of selecting a new admiral. I'll provide you with a candidate list shortly. Additionally, we've dispatched an investigative team to Tierra del Fuego to search for Igor.
Very well. What about the girl?
The girl? Are you referring to Lopera? Her emotions have stabilized, so we've decided to leave her in South America for the moment. Of course, she'll be put through the necessary investigations as circumstances dictate.
Keep a close eye on her. Oh, and that little singing bird?
Xeno is quite upset about our decision regarding Miss Kimberly. They're insisting she undergoes a more thorough investigation. I feared that if we gave too much pushback, they would take a more extreme stance in response. So I agreed.
Those soldiers never budge.
Of course, Xeno agreed that the investigation would be done under the supervision of the Foundation. If nothing else comes up, she will be put into the Timekeeper's team and granted the same rights as the other members.
Good. Don't keep Vertin waiting too long.
There's more. Madam Z has received word from the Timekeeper. The Timekeeper suspects Manus Vindictae is active again in Sydney Harbor. They're likely on board a cruise ship named Free Breeze. This would explain why our field investigators have been having difficulties with their tasks. Manus has covered their tracks carefully this time.
Where's the cruise bound for?
That's still unclear, sir. However, Moth just reported in confirming that the ship has passed the Oceania Islands.
An interesting development.
Indeed.
We're making excellent progress. That's good. Assign a new mission to Vertin.
You mean to send them on that cruise?
We can't keep her under our wing forever.
Understood.
What brings you all the way over here, old friend? Oh. So, Laplace has requested the Foundation's assistance with the Artificial Storm Project?
Yes. Ulrich is overseeing the project and has requested as much asymmetrical nuclide R as we can spare. He's also requested our help in determining the most suitable location for the experiment. I have several in mind that should meet his needs. The location closest to Laplace's Australian branch is on the sea. Right where the Freebreeze cruise ship happens to be.
I see where you're going.
However, I do have concerns about how this might disrupt our current plans against Manus Vindictae.
Regardless, Laplace will have our full support for the Artificial Storm Project.
But Moth's status still remains unclear. If we proceed too hastily, we might jeopardize the situation.
I thought you'd have foreseen something like this. A few pieces must be sacrificed if you're to win the game. You know that better than anyone, don't you?
Is this also the Pax House's decision?
You have my word on it.
I see. I'll inform the Timekeeper and Ulrich of their missions.
Thank you. I look forward to their meeting.
We meet again, Timekeeper.
Pleasure's mine, Mr. Ulrich. I've heard good things about your work with Regulus.
Frankly, I was surprised by how selfless, passionate, and forward-looking she is. I'm truly grateful to have someone like her on my team.
The situation on the Freebreeze is still unclear. We don't know how many Manus Vindictae followers might be on board. Our plan is to board the cruise as ordinary passengers. Regulus said she's made acquaintance with a crew member and has made sure to alter our profiles so we don't attract any unwanted attention.
That's good to hear. So Regulus didn't use her money for her own amusement after all. We should stagger our boarding times. I'll reach out if I spot any signs of Manus Vindictae. Let's stay in touch. See you on board.
Mr. Ulrich, we're more than happy to assist with your mission.
Oh, no. Please don't trouble yourself. Sorry, don't get me wrong. I'd appreciate your help were the circumstances different. But the experiment is still confidential. Please don't mention it to anyone. I'd like to avoid any unnecessary risks or interference. On the cruise ship, we are but strangers.
I see.
Don't you worry. I have a little disguise for myself too.
Miss Barcarola, at last you've graced us with your presence. Henry and I were just having a little wager on whether we'd see our musical star outside the spotlight. Looks like he'll be buying me the next round of whiskey, eh?
Well bet, signore. Allow me to pour you the first glass. How do you like your whiskey? On the rocks, perhaps?
Indeed. Thank you, my dear.
Over here, Mum! It's Miss Barcarola! Last time I saw her, she performed an entire symphony all by herself. She was the whole orchestra. I've never seen anything like it.
It's good to see you again, my little friend.
Miss Barcarola, what a pleasure. I've heard so much about you. My child hasn't stopped talking about you since you spoke to him about the didgeridoo at Sydney Harbour. He was so excited by it that he begged us to bring one on board.
How lovely! The didgeridoo truly is an enchanting instrument. It's so resonant, don't you think? It almost feels like it's echoing from the depths of the earth itself. I've actually been experimenting with playing it alongside my crackling box. It's a wonderful match with the tin whistle and kalimba, and I'm sure a number of other instruments too.
Looks like she's pretty popular too. Too? Have you forgotten, Sonetto? You're also looking at a popular public figure yourself. One that had half of London hunting. Cheering for her. Ah, the bittersweet burden of fame. That group over there seems unusually uptight.
Oh, those are the captain's special guests. They're from one of the Oceania archipelagos. Nukuteao, I believe. They're probably just a bit nervous. I imagine they don't often find themselves among so many foreigners.
Nukutea. I read about it in a history of arcane ethnicity back in the SPDM. It's a remote place, and its people hold a special kind of shell at the center of their beliefs. They've rarely made contact with the outside world. It's often been described as a peaceful paradise. I also read that the Nukutai almost never leave their homeland. Why are they here?
The Nukutai will never abandon our homeland. Just wait. We'll find our way back when the new era comes.
The new era. Towa, that's enough. Tutu told us not to talk with outsiders.
But someone had to tell them the truth.
I apologize. I didn't mean to accuse you of anything. I was just curious.
Well, next time, keep your mouth shut. What could you possibly know about the Nukutai?
Please, everyone, no fighting. I'm Barcarola, the musical director. Is there anything I can help you with? I'll do all I can to ensure everyone has a pleasant experience.
What's going on? What do you want? Tutu! Alone, Towa, stay back! These outsiders can be dangerous.
Dangerous? Have you never heard of me before?
Whoever you are, I ask that you leave us in peace.
You...
Tutu, think the tides you came. I wasn't sure what to do.
So are we going to take Miss Grace's offer or not? She promised it would bring our island back.
Enough, Towa. These outsiders don't need to know why we're here. And stop mentioning Miss Grace. It could draw unwanted attention.
But what's there to hide? There's no shame in wanting our home back. If we don't stand with Miss Grace, we'll lose Nukutea forever.
I want to go home too. Probably more than anyone. I already miss Melly's red coral reefs, blue sea, and canoe races. We'll get through this, Towa. I promise we'll be neighbors again, picking breadfruit and coconut flowers together. But before we accept Miss Grace's offer, there's a few things that need to be made clear. And remember, none of these passengers are to blame for what happened to our home. Okay? But Miss Grace has offered us a way home. We'll have our islands back, just as they were. Our promised land. We will go home, Sloane. Trust me. I just need to figure out a few things first. Starting with this wonderful new era she keeps talking about.
You seem a little on edge, Chief Kamuda.
Miss Grace, how much longer do we have to wait for this new era to come? Many of our people have never left Nukuteao before. We're struggling to adjust. Some have even fallen sick. We can't stay adrift on the sea like this much longer. Our spirits are low. The shells of some of my people have begun to crack. Not everyone is strong enough to endure this journey. Please, Miss Grace, you have to help us.
While it pains me to hear this, the journey must go on. You have nowhere to return to after all. We still have some space below deck. You can use it to store your people's bodies should they die.
That's not exactly what we're asking for. Please show us another way. Help us like you did when you foresaw the destruction of Meli. I beg of you.
I've already shown you a way, haven't I?
You mean joining the Manus? But the Nukutai haven't had a conflict with anyone for centuries. That's why we hid ourselves away from the world. Difficult to persuade my people to do this. All we want is for our people to return to familiar soil, to feel our spirits at home. Nothing more.
But Meli is already gone.
Yes, but that doesn't mean we should take revenge on the outside world. It was an act of the sea itself. It would be unjust to blame anyone for it.
What about the torpedo test sites designated over Malaga and Vaipuna? Aren't there people who should answer for that?
It was probably just a mistake. The area they chose was far from the main islands of Nukuteao, and hardly anyone fishes there. They may not have realized that my people lived there.
And the oil spill? The wastewater discharge? Were all those fish killed by pollution also just an act of the sea?
Please, we're not looking for conflict.
Of course you're not. After all, they've only stolen everything you've ever held dear. And arrogantly assumed every inch of this planet is theirs to exploit. War is inevitable, whether you want it or not, Nukutai. But if you join us, you will have an invaluable ally. Time. The window is closing. The sifting is about to begin.
Has it really come to this? To revenge?
Oh no. It's quite the opposite. It's salvation.
Regulus, as I'm sure you understand, there's a great deal of effort involved in creating a concerto. From the initial spark of inspiration, to the careful arrangement of the music, to the skill required to play it. The fact that any concerto has ever been performed at all is nothing short of a miracle. As musical director, it is my duty to select the perfect repertoire to bring delight to every listener. Then, the esteemed passengers of the Free Breeze can enjoy their dessert and wine with the finest musical accompaniment.
Oh, you can't be serious. Where's the fun in just sitting there and listening? I promise you, this lot have had more than enough lazy jazz and swooning piano to last a lifetime. We need to shake things up. Make this voyage the greatest of the century. How about some 60s rock? And wouldn't you know it, this visionary former captain has a record player right here with her. All right, people, let me hear you cheer. Music is freedom. It should stir the soul anytime, anywhere.
Stop, Regulus! I'm the musicista here, not you!
These outsiders seem so full of life. They're nothing like what Miss Grace described. Full of hatred and hostility.
This is my performance. If you really must share your music with us, then perhaps you should go to the captain and apply to be a cruise musician like me.
With all due respect, Miss Barcarola, the point I'm trying to make is that only a DJ knows what the crowd really wants. Huh? Did I just shoot lightning bolts from my fingertips?
Of course not.
Verdammt! Who's stepping on my brand new leather shoes? Will you please watch yourself?
I was just about to say the same thing. Just let go of my jacket, moron!
Could you all keep it down? I'm going deaf here. Oh no, my wine! And the cheese platter!
This could turn to total chaos before long. No, I can't let that happen. I must go check on the master switch.
Hey! Miss Barcarola!
Please let me through, Signora Elizabeth.
Barcarola, where are you going? Let me give you a hand.
No wingman is needed.
Just, stand with the others. Like this, then. Oh, I got it now.
No worries.
Laundry time. Up and at it.
Thank you for your cooperation.
What I'm good at.
What a fun.
It's out with you. Rise and shine. Why does one wave turn against the other when both are one with the river?
Come on! There aren't as many of them this way.
Unbelievable. It's like you're an escape artist or something.
I'll, take that as a compliment.
It is a compliment. Thank you so much, Senora Regulus. What was that?
Tutu, are you okay? I'm fine. How's the Sea Mother's eye?
Solid as ever, of course. It takes more than a few knocks to damage Nukutai craftsmanship.
I knew getting too close to those oafs would bring trouble.
Oafs? Are you calling me stupid? What's this?
What did I say? Of course you have no idea what this is.
We form palm bark into lampshades about the size of a coconut, then tie fat-soaked compass grass inside. We call it Sea Mother's eye. Every Nukutai knows how to make one.
They're way better than those noisy, buzzing light bulbs. Wait, why are we even telling her this?
We need to lower their guard.
Huh?
So that we can earn their trust. If we don't understand our enemies, how can we help Miss Grace with her mission and rebuild our home?
Oh.
Besides, we can't just leave them to shout and run around. It'll disturb our people's rest. Trust me, that girl will thank us for this later. And then we can get all the information we need from her.
Then we should make more Sea Mother's eyes and hand them out to the outsiders.
Now you've got it.
By the waves, Tutu. You really are clever. No wonder the elders always listen to you.
Is this really the right thing to do?
What peculiar little things. Reminds me of my days on the fishing boat. I always loved spotting the lighthouse on our way back. These look just like it.
The craftsmanship is remarkable. You'd be hard-pressed to find something of this standard in a factory these days.
They remind me of the things my grandma and I used to make when I was little. She could even carve a whistle out of a parsnip.
They're sharing food and stories, just like we do on bonfire nights. I'm getting more and more confused by Miss Grace's words.
Miss Barcarola? I want to go home.
Is this one of the changes I must make to truly embrace music?
Attention passengers. The Free Breeze is currently experiencing a power outage due to a fuse blown by a cargo leak in the lower deck. We ask that everyone remain calm. We sincerely apologize for the inconvenience. To make your wait more comfortable, we'll be offering unlimited ice cream shortly. Additionally, since we're approaching the habitat of the series, we're expecting an increase in turbulence and noise as we work to ward them off. We appreciate your understanding.
See? What did I tell you? Music works wonders. Anytime, anywhere.
You were right, Senora Regulus.
You owe me one now. So, how about a little reciprocity? Say, letting me have a rock session on the ship?
Do you promise you won't cause any trouble?
Cross my heart.
All right, you can do it. But...
Woohoo! Don't forget to thank the girl who made the lamp.
As if I need you to remind me. I'll have you know I was just about to head over to her.
Tutu was right. The stupid girl's back.
Shh. Huh? I must say, I don't appreciate being called an oaf or stupid. But I would like to thank you for your help back there.
What?
On behalf of the whole crew, you have our respect.
Oh, what do we do now? Tutu never said they'd be so friendly.
Tutu? Where did she go?